Good morning, folks. This is Brother Allen with Bible Commentary. It's a little bit nippy out there today, and we've had snow showers. But let's continue on with our study of the book of Revelation. Now, in order to help one understand the book of Revelation, we at least need a somewhat working knowledge of the Old Testament. But more specifically, I do think we need a working knowledge of the book of Daniel. And I highly recommend this book. It's called Daniel Fulfilled Prophecy by Jesse Mills. I have read several commentaries by different authors on the book of Daniel. And in my opinion, this particular book aligns itself more closely to the book of Revelation. I'm not promoting books, but I'm just saying I've used several books in the past, and I found this one to be more closely correlated with the book of Revelation. And this book can be bought on Amazon.com. So I would highly recommend that you get that book and read it. It is a little bit difficult to get through, but it is really necessary in order for us to understand the book of Revelation. So let us continue today with that study. This is part 1.5, and here's what it says. As commonly interpreted, nothing can be more loose and unconnected than the arrangement of Revelation. It seems an intricate maze without any intelligible plan, ranging through time and space, and forming a chaos of heterogeneous ages, nations, and incidents. But in reality, there is no literary composition more regular in its structure, more methodical in its arrangement, and more artistic in its design. No Greek tragedy is composed with greater art or more strict attention to dramatic laws. It is no exaggeration to say, with the learned Henry Moore, there never was any book penned with that artifice as this of Revelation, as if every word weighed in a balance before it was set down. Yet the plan of its construction is simple and almost self-evident. The number 7 governs it throughout. The most unobservant reader cannot fail to notice 4 of its great divisions, which are distinguished by this mystic number: the 7 churches, the 7 seals, the 7 trumpets, and the 7 vials. As every division has certain marked characteristics by its beginning and ending are distinctly indicated, it is not difficult to draw the lines between the several divisions. In addition to the 4 already specified, we find other 3 visions. The vision of the sun-clad woman, the vision of the great harlot, and the vision of the bride. This completes the mystic number 7 and form the clear and well-defined arrangement into which the contents of the Revelation naturally fall. It would be most difficult, indeed, to invent any other. There are also a preface or prologue at the commencement of the book and an epilogue at its conclusion, so that the whole arrangement stands as follows. You might want to write this down, folks. The vision of the 7 churches is chapter 1, 2, and 3. The vision of the seven seals is chapter 4, 5, 6, and 7. The vision of the seven trumpets are as follows: chapter 8, 9, 10, and 11. The vision of the sun-clad woman is chapter 12, 13, and 14. The vision of the seven vials is chapter 15 and chapter 16. The vision of the great harlot is chapter 17, 18, 19, and chapter 20. The vision of the bride is chapter 21 and 22, verses 1 through 5. And the epilogue is chapter 22, verses 8 through 21. Such is the natural arrangement of the book, so far as its great leading divisions are concerned. There are also several subordinate divisions or episodes, as they may be called, which fall under one or other of the great divisions. We shall find that in the different visions there is a common structure, resemblance, and that more particularly, each division concludes with a finale or catastrophe, representing an act of judgment or a scene of victory and triumph. But the most remarkable feature in the Revelation, so far as its structure is concerned, remains to be noticed. It is that the several visions may be described as only varied representations of the same facts or events, rearrangements, and new combinations of the same constituent elements. This is obvious as the case with two of the great divisions, such as the vision of the seven trumpets and that of the seven vials. These are almost counterparts to each other. And though the resemblance between the other visions is not so marked, yet it will be found that they are all different aspects of the same event. This is crucial in understanding the Revelation. We may venture to use such an illustration. We should say that the visions are not telescopic, looking at the distant, but kaleidoscopic, every turn of the instrument producing a new combination of images, exquisitely beautiful and gorgeous, while the elements which compose the picture remain substantially the same. As Pharaoh's dream was one, though seen under two different forms, so the visions of the apocalypse are one, though represented in 7 different aspects. The reason of this repetition in both cases is the same. For that the dream was doubled unto Pharaoh twice, it is because the thing is established by God, and God will shortly bring it to pass. In like manner, the events foreshadowed in the Revelation are declared by their 7-fold repetition to be sure and to be near. In chapter 1, verses 1, the things which must shortly come to pass, because time is at hand. The number 7 in Revelation Every reader must be struck by the manner in which certain numerals are employed, not so much in an arithmetical sense, but as in a symbolical sense. The numbers 3, 4, 7, 10, and 12, the half of the 7, and the square of 12 are used in this significant manner. All of these mystic numbers, as they may be called, 7 is the dominant number, which we find continually reoccurring from the beginning to the end of the book. That it is invariably used in a symbolical and never in a literal or arithmetical sense, we will not venture to assert, but that it is frequently, if not generally, so employed must be apparent to every thoughtful reader. It was the number of dignity among the Jews, the symbol of totality, the symbol of perfection, and it signifies all of the species or the highest kind of species to which it refers. It is not necessary, for this number occurs, to require the full tale of units to be made up. It simply means complete or excellence. Thus, we have 7 churches, 7 seals, 7 trumpets, 7 vials, 7 spirits, 7 lamps, 7 horns, 7 eyes, 7 stars, 7 mountains, 7 kings. It would be absurd to require the exact arithmetical value in all of these instances, though it would be rash to affirm that in every one of them the number 7 is symbolical. Still, even in the instance which at first seems the most manifestly literal, viz., the 7 churches, which are particularly enumerated, it is possible that there may be an underlying symbolism. It can scarcely be supposed that there were only 7 churches in all of Asia Minor. There may have been 7 times 7. But, doubtless, these 7 churches stand as representatives of the whole number, not in Asia only, but everywhere else. It will be found of no small importance to correct the interpretation of the Apocalypse, to bear in mind the symbolic character which belongs to the number that is most often used. Folks, I'm going to stop right there with this part. We will continue the other. I don't like to give you so much at one time because this is going to be a very long, wonderful interpretation of the book of Revelation. You don't have to always agree. I am only presenting to you what is called the fulfilled view of the interpretation of the book of Revelation. Stay warm today. I hope you have a wonderful day, and we will pick up next time. May God bless you. This is Brother Allen.